We're back with Mickey Guyton, our first musical performance on the show, y'all. I'm so happy to have you here. I am so happy.
I just need to say this. Jennifer, you are America's sweetheart.
Aww.
And what you are doing for girls like me, for the audience, for the world, is just so important. And I just thank you for your presence.
Wow, thank you, thank you. See, but you're the first Black artist to earn a Grammy nomination for the country music album. I mean, that is amazing. That's making history.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Like, I can only imagine with you breaking history. So I have to ask you, like, how does it feel?
You know, it can be really hard at times, if you want me to be perfectly honest, because it's a heavy weight in knowing how far the world needs to go and the things that I see behind the scenes still today in 2022. It's hard, but you know, our presence here in all of these spaces is just so important because it shows so many kids that we can do it, that we can do this. Like, we must normalize us in these spaces. Thank you.
And explain how people don't realize that country music actually came from the Black community, right?
You know, well, when I first moved to Nashville, one of the first things I did was I went to the Country Music Hall of Fame. And I remember, like, walking in there, one of the first scenes that you see, the first things that you see in the Country Music Hall of Fame are, like, people, Black people picking on their porch.
Wow.
And some of the first country music they learned from Black artists, Black musicians. And it's so important for people to know that. Like, the banjo came from Africa, y'all. Like, it is so important that, you know, like, we're so accustomed to these boxes that we're all put in. And women, we as Black women, we're designated to R&B. But the reality of it is that box never existed in the first place. And we belong in every place in America.
Wow. That's amazing. As an artist, I mean, I have so many questions. I'm curious to know, like, what was your introduction to all the genres for you to say, oh my God, I connect to this style of music and this is how I want to enter and this is where I want to make an impact? Like, what was that for you?
Well, my grandma was born in Riesel, Texas, where there's like nobody there. And she loved Dolly Parton. And whenever I would go to her house, I would look at all of her Dolly Parton VHS tapes. That's aging me right there, but they were VHS tapes. And she had, you know, she loved Southern movies, so I always watched, like, Still Magnolias, and then she also had Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers duet VHS tapes in her house, and that's what I watched. But it was actually LeAnn Rimes that I saw at a Texas Rangers baseball game singing the national anthem before she was LeAnn Rimes that made me fall in love with that. Like, she was like, I love her, along with Whitney Houston, along with Mariah Carey and all of that, but LeAnn Rimes was someone that was close to my age that I saw, like, I can do that too.
I hear you. And then I hear we have something in common. You used to work in fast food too, because I used to work at Burger King. Go on, tell on yourself now. You work where?
Taco Bell was my first job, y'all.
Okay, tell me about your song, something about you, not about you, about you.
About you.
That's specific.
Yeah.
What about that song? Did you write it, and then what made you pick that song?
I wrote this song with Tyler Hubbard, who's the other half of Florida Georgia Line, and another guy named David Garcia. And during the pandemic, as we all know, was really tough for everybody. And what I had to do was kind of really stay off social media because it's just so toxic and unhealthy. And what I saw was something so beautiful. Like, what I saw on social media was not indicative to what I was seeing right in front of me. And that was my husband and my son. So I just started writing about my love and my relationship. So that's what that song is about.
That is so beautiful. What comes from the heart reaches the heart.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. And we have something else in common. Your backup singer, it's Peaches. Now, she had Peaches, the backup singer, she was just really doing all these. I was like, you don't do all those dance moves when you sing it back up behind me. How you get her to do that?
You know, my creative director, Jamel McWilliams, he got Peaches to do those dances. I can't take credit for that.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you know, next time she's going to have to do a few steps for me. Now that I know that she can. Okay, Something About You and the rest of Mickey's music is available everywhere music is streamed.